Hi everyone. Today with the Open Hearth, we are starting a new campaign of The Last Caravan by Ted Bushman. Um, the genre I didn't know existed till I needed this book, Cars and Aliens. The group will be playing a bunch of people crossing the country, the US, um, in the aftermath of an alien invasion. Um, So yeah, my name is Dana. My pronouns are he, him. I'm running the game. Let's get an intro from our players, and they can introduce their characters. And then when we've done that, we will talk a little bit about their connections and why they're making the trip. So let's start left to right in the character keeper, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm Tiamat. You can all just call me T, she, her. And I'm going to be playing Mercedes Clark, the bandage. She's a large animal vet. She's short. She's kind of frazzled. She misses coffee. And I think that's about enough to get started on.
Uh, and I'm Mark. I go by he and them, and I'm playing Angie Lee, our talker. Angie has a background in local radio and probably also misses coffee quite a bit.
Other Mark, do you want to?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mark. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Ree, who uses she, her pronouns. Ree is, I think, the youngest of the group. Ree is probably in her late teens, and she is the lookout, the far-sighted hunter and scout for the group. And that's she's got a youthful look. She wears scrunchies and has a thin build.
And I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I'm playing Walker Dean, who is the bruiser, a tough fighter and protector. Walker used to be an eco activist. There's probably more to that story, right? But maybe he'll tell you. He looks rough, but uncommonly clean, I'd say, for the times. But he likes to do that. And we're not talking about our inadequacies, right? Okay, whatever.
I mean, we can definitely talk about our inadequacies.
Okay.
Um, I
Okay.
think it might be good to dive into those when we
Mhm.
have good and
Okay.
bad memories, right?
Yes, that's a good point.
So yeah, that's a good segue to that. Now this is just a suggestion of a good way to handle connections between the characters. If you have a different idea or you want to have something a little bit more less formulaic, let's say, you're more than welcome to do that. Um, Key, do you have any ideas for Mercedes connections with some of the others?
Hmm. So, her inadequacy is fear. And I think hmm, Walker sounds like somebody who would really maybe push the group to do things that are possibly a little bit more risky. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And I think there's been a couple times that she's just absolutely balked at it, and they've gotten into altercations over it. So that is a one bad memory with Walker is, oh, let's be specific. Um, we have an off-road vehicle, and Walker was like, all right, we're gonna drive across this stream. And she was like, absolutely not. And do we want to, I don't necessarily want to go through and do six memories right
No, no, no.
off the bat, back to back to back.
Yeah, let's snake through the group and then go back around.
All right, sounds good.
Mark, Mark W, let's say.
So T, let me know if this is okay. I think at some point, our group had a horse, and and the horse, Ree was very fond of the horse, and at some point, the um the horse broke a leg,
Mm.
and um Ree really didn't want to leave the horse behind. She was extremely upset. But do you feel like maybe Mercedes was kind of straightforward about it, being a large animal vet, and said, "We just there's there's nothing we can do for her."
Yeah, definitely. I think she took a very I think she tends to talk to really very like as if she were an equal, and she just sort of like went through textbook, like here's what we should do in these situations, here's the prognosis under the best possible situation, here's what could happen, and this is not that. Um, yeah, and so that almost feels like a good memory, like a moment of connection in a challenging time. I don't know. I leave it up to you whether you think that's good or bad.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Maybe, yeah, pointing out the reality of the situation and helping Ree kind of like work through it um, would be a good memory. Well, I like that. If you're good with that.
Yeah, it works for me. What was the horse's name?
Um, Leo.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark M, how about you? Any connections for Angie?
Yeah. I feel like Angie knew Walker pretty well before stuff happened. Maybe they share an interest in activism.
Yeah.
Um, and I think maybe a good memory would be like Walker kind of like um, introducing her to. I think like maybe Angie has like a general idea of like, oh yeah, like ecological stuff is good, but I think Walker like actually kind of like helped her learn like these are the actual things, like
Yeah.
these are the actual issues. Here's some ways to address them. Um, since Angie's a little bit reckless, maybe Walker's kind of like a grounding influence on her.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay. And Sabine, how about you? Anything to add to the mix from Walker's point of view?
Okay, so my turn, right? Okay. Re. I think since Walker's inadequacy is grief, I think there was a moment when when he was supposed to be doing something, right? And Ree was also doing something, and that kind of struck him. That reminded him of something. And was just like went blank faced and just stared. He got himself together, but you could tell that he was really struggling. I think if this is okay with everybody, he might have said afterwards, "You really remind me a bit of my daughter."
Do you consider that good or bad?
Bad, and that's in that situation. It was bad because
Yeah.
he was out of it. He couldn't get his shit together.
What was your daughter's name?
Um, um, let me get back to you, okay? I need to think about that. Oh, I think it was Moira. Yes, Moira.
Okay. Um, so yeah, let's go back around, fill in some of those gaps. T, how about Mercedes? Do you want to add another connection here?
Yeah. Let's do a positive one with Angie. I think Mercedes is pretty uptight. What's a time when Angie helped her to like kick back for once?
Mm. Um, maybe maybe I had like before we got on the road or before we lost it, I probably had a decent collection of like CDs and
Mm.
I like stayed up all night listening to music.
Oh, yeah, I like that kind of slumber party vibes.
Yeah.
Uh, Mark W, any other connection jumping out at you for Re?
Yeah, let's do one with Angie. Angie is the um I think that as the talker, maybe Angie sometimes finds herself in a position where she find herself in a position where she was giving an order, essentially,
Mhm.
like maybe being a little overbearing.
Yep. A little bossy.
And I think that um is it a good memory or a bad memory? Maybe that's what Ree needs, is to be pointed in the right direction. Um no, I'll leave it as bad. So yeah, I think oh I think that she was given a direction that she didn't agree with, but she felt compelled to do it
Mm.
uh, because Angie is kind of like has a leader vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And Mark, how about Angie? Any other connection?
Um, I think Angie has a bad memory with Mercedes. If this is okay, I think maybe even during that um, music session, Angie confessed a crush that Mercedes rejected. Does that sound all right?
Ooh. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And Sabine, back around to you for Walker.
Okay, so I have a bad memory with Mercedes, a bad memory with Ree, and a good one with Angie. I want to have a good memory with someone.
Okay.
Mercedes or Ree? Hmm. Hmm. Let's go with Mercedes. I think we I think we were in a pretty bad spot with some people who were shooting at us. And I think Mercedes was not doing too well. And no, I have a better one. No, we were in a bad situation. We were with people who were shooting at us. And afterwards, I think it was Mercedes who realized that Walker had been shot, not badly, just a graze or something, but he was bleeding. He was filled with adrenaline. He didn't even notice. But I think she patched him up, and he was really, really grateful about that. No, is that okay for you?
No, yeah, I like that a lot.
Cool.
And I could even see that being like
Mm-hmm.
the first time she'd ever been like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, not like bullying, but like emotionally forceful with him. And she's like, no. sit.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and I think that probably happened before they got into the fight about whether to drive through the stream.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. T, anything? I think if you probably need another one with Re, we just have that Leo memory between the two of you.
Yeah, so this is something negative with three because we thought that that was a positive one. Hmm. Hmm. You said college student age, right? For me.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Re is yep, college student aged. Yep.
Okay. Um, hmm. Do you think she would have stolen drugs from Mercedes? And this is a character question that you can say no to.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that hmm, she may have. I feel like she's a kind of an empathic or sympathetic person, maybe to others. So we had some medication that we were saving for when our group needed it, but came across another
Mm.
group that needed it. Uh, or is that does not make sense for Mercedes to not help the other group?
I mean, I think Mercedes wants to help people, but also she's afraid of stuff, right? I think she maybe has a little bit of a hoarding instinct because she's like, well, just in case, you never know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so maybe they sort of got into an argument about it, and then afterwards, Mercedes was like, "Oh, they're gone," and she knew exactly who had done it.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Mark, I mean, who do you think this other group was that we wanted to help, if I'm understanding the dynamic here?
Yeah, it was a family. It was a family of like related people and um how sympathetic should I make it? I think that it was a couple of adult children and their older parents. Um, and one of the older parents had an infection, and so uh, she stole some um, antibiotics or antiviral or something to give to them.
But there was no connection with we, or was it just, general empathy and reaching out to people?
I think that um, I think the only connection was that the grandparents, or the parents, the older parents, um, were reminded her of her grandparents who died during the initial invasion during the 2 months war, and it was just seeing that and thinking that she could help them, even though she had not been able to help her grandparents themselves.
Right, yeah. Um, so Mark, I think you probably want to fill in a good connection with either Angie or Walker.
Right.
if I trust my notes.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with your notes there. So, so many good memories we have. I'm recalling all the good times that we had. I think that does Angie have like a harmonica or anything like that?
um, I don't know if she's
Can't
a
make it.
harmonica type. Uh, maybe something similar. Yeah.
Um, I think that Angie has been trying to teach Ree how to make music since there's not a way to play music anymore
Mm.
electronically. And I don't know what that looks like. I would, the classic would be a guitar, but I don't know if that really is going to be acceptable for you to have a guitar to bring along.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
a ukulele.
yeah. That would fit for sure.
Donna, what do you think? Can Angie have a ukulele?
Well, I mean, the vehicle is roomy, +1 storage. I mean,
There
it's
we go.
now got a ukulele in it, right?
Are you okay with that, Mark?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The sound of the apocalypse just got cheerier, right? Um, so Mark, for Angie, I think the only big space we have left is with Walker, a kind of a negative vibe to go with the activism intro.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I've already got a positive one with Walker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A negative memory with Walker. Hmm. Um, Reckless. I think, well, that'll be negative on the other side. Um, I'm not sure. Sabine, do you have any ideas for that?
Let me. Oh, okay. Let me think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Bad memory. I think you're reckless. You're also very good at talking to people. I think maybe you wanted. There comes a point when talking is doesn't cut it anymore, right?
Mhm.
So I think the bad memory you have is when you were rather convinced that you could talk down these people who were going to take our stuff, and
Yep.
Walker was like, "No, guys, this is not a talking situation. This is a sledgehammer situation."
I'm just horrified. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
I'll be ready in a moment to have a good memory with Ree. I think that's the last one that's missing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think I think Ree is often kind of detached, right? She's kind of in her own head. She's gone through stuff. She's pretty young, and then that is how she deals. So I think after maybe just some driving long so during a long drive. The other two were asleep. We were there, and we were just and Walker was just like starting to talk a bit about the radio, the music we liked before everything happened. Try to draw her out a bit. Not pushing, but just like, car conversation.
That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
I can foresee that this radio needs to get fixed, pretty soon. There's a lot of musical.
Why didn't somebody take a wrench?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think that is everything we need to do for characters. And we've already talked about the car. So I think it's probably time to talk about exactly why you're on this road trip, why you decided to leave. There are some examples for kin. Um, I guess there's a couple of things to note, right? Caravans all over the country have two reasons to start heading west. News has reached the east of a bastion of humanity, a city called the Republic of St. Francis. And alien powers are ascended in the east and they're becoming more dangerous. So the hooks that are suggested for like kin, like fan family or whatever, uh, maybe these occur at a significant family place or one associated with your connection with each other, a major family figure, or a strange connection to the aliens. Um, so, oh, sorry, in the book, page 12. Um, so some examples here, a small town PO box, a storage unit where a maternal figure left a package for you. Where does it lead? A paternal figure's house where you find something strange. What is it? Or a rendezvous point where the rest of the family agree to meet. What changed? Um, so yeah, I guess that's just for some inspiration fuel. I guess based on what we know about this grouping, why did you decide you had to leave and head west?
I'm wondering if wherever we were all sort of visitors to that place, right? So maybe we were sort of travelers that banded together and we don't have like land or a lot of local connections and are sort of getting run out from places. And we're like, we gotta find someplace you know, we can be and be safe.
Maybe one of us has connections back west, a family with a farm or something like that.
Mm.
Or an aunt you don't know what happened to her, but she was kind of nice. Something like that.
I mean, for you as a college student, maybe her family's still fine.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Is that a kitty?
Yes. um, yeah, that works for me. I think that so Donna, do we need to choose the St. Francis or the other one as part of this or negative?
No, you can be heading to, I mean, that is just kind of the big tentpole that people know about back here, but like you could
Okay.
decide, oh, we actually are heading to, the Forest of Titans, which is the Pacific Northwest, because that's where my family is, right? Or yeah, and Angelo's Kaido, uh, you know, whatever makes the most sense. Or you can pick any spot on the map, right? If we think that's a good place to go to the Devil's Gullet, you know.
I mean, going to the Fallen Angels maybe
Yeah.
also has a weird vibe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good with any of these things if we want to have Ree's parents still alive on the coast. Um, then that certainly works as part of it.
Okay.
Why aren't they looking for me? That's the real question. And why haven't they found me?
Yep.
They're gonna feel so guilty.
But I think like there's a push and pull here, right? If you don't really belong here, and it was getting more and more awkward to find sanctuary, then yeah, maybe that's why it took some time, and why now is the time to go.
I'm pretty sure Walker just wants to leave. Just everything, all the memories, right?
Hmm.
Going to the West Coast, yeah, that's fine.
Right, yeah, nice. So I think the final bit to do is to imagine your prologue. Um, so the rules tell us that every traveler should fill in one heroism on your sheet. Um, and then I think this is an optional suggestion, but I think it's a good one. Choose as a group to tell a story to the other travelers about how you gained this heroism during, the past few months, during the 2 months war. Specifically, reference the heroism triggers on your traveler imprint to find the list of broad narrative beats, and then you can explain what your traveler did before their caravan left on this journey. Does anyone have any thoughts straight off the bat?
Do we know where we're starting from?
We do not.
I think that might
Uh,
be helpful for
it's
me.
yeah, yeah. So the four regions on the East Coast that you start from are um, Ash Ridge, which I guess is,
Carolinas.
mid-Atlantic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Let me read out the general intro. Aliens bombarded cities to glass, but the wooded hills and rivers of the eastern states still hide holdout communities. A rippling harmonic rumble of alien activity is rising, filling the lands with the drone of an awakening army. Um, so there's the Broken Heartland, which I guess is Georgia-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. A tide of crab-like monsters washed over this land of peach orchards and peanut farms. Now idealistic humans are trying to succor the few survivors. There's the Fog Coast, which I guess is New England. Before the war, this region was a sleepy collection of seaside hamlets known for its lighthouses, rocky shores, and misty woods. Now an alien threat rises from the fog. And finally, the Frigid Keys, which is Florida. Once a golden, sun-drenched paradise of immigrants and retirees, deep winter has fallen on the sunshine state. Colony pods have smashed the cities and pump out more aliens every day. The few survivors have to move now.
Kind of partial to the Fog Coast, but flexible.
Fog Coast, you said? Yeah, it's fine. That's
I think the
cool.
only one I'm not really feeling is the Frigid Keys because I don't want to doom Walker to being Florida man.
Yep.
No, Walker, even if we were in the frigid coast, Walker would not be from Florida. Never try to carry around an alligator. Never driven his car naked. Wait, well, okay, let's not talk about that. Anyway, yeah, Fog Coast sounds good. I have a question. What can you give me some bullet points about the aliens? I mean, we know that they have bombed the cities.
Yeah,
What
so,
else do we know?
um, well, not a huge amount, but they are strange aliens. They sing. There's all this harmonic stuff going on. There's crystals. Um, there are like a I'll say subspecies. There's an associated species of crab creatures who are like their soldiers. Um, but maybe it's a bit more complicated than that. So yeah, they appeared in these in this orbital, and yeah, the war started. I mean, who knows how it started? Um, but yes, strange aliens with strange harmonic abilities. That's how they make their technology work. Maybe they're responsible for knocking the car's radio out. You know, there's yeah, there's definitely like more stuff that you will discover, but it's yeah, confusion and chaos for you, the average citizen, about who exactly these aliens are and why they came here. Mark's gonna read the chapters if he hasn't already done so.
Did not want to spoil anything, so I have not touched them.
Okay, okay. I think the chapter in the book starts with a full page spread.
Yeah.
Travelers beware. You know?
I have an idea now for the heroism thing. So, what happened? There were aliens. They were in a rather small vessel that they travel around, or appeared with what I don't know. It was foggy. It's the fog coast, right? They were coming, and it was pretty clear that they would destroy whatever settlement we were in. And you could hear them in their stomach, in your ears. There was this drone. And I think Walker walked up. There was a metal shed, right, for I don't know, garden implements and stuff like that. But it was metal. And he had this, and he took this sledgehammer that was lying around, and he took it and he banged on that shed, and it was kind of, and there was this shattering sensation in the air as the sound from this bang hit the harmonics of the aliens, and the vessel wobbled a little. So Walker kept banging the shed, and the aliens were shooting whatever they're shooting at him, but it was quite unstructured. They did not hit him. One of them finally hit the shed. There was an explosion, but then the aliens decided that was it. That was too loud. That was the wrong kind of noise, and they left. Or maybe they thought it was a concert and then they left. Who knows?
Awesome. That's a special sledgehammer. Accidentally picked up Thor's hammer in the.
No, I don't think so. I don't even think he saw that movie.
Okay, great stuff. Thanks, Sabine. Anyone else have a thought on their moment of heroism?
One of the things is making things worse because of your inadequacy. And that might be why we are in this vehicle instead of the one that we started in. Since I have recklessness and I cannot drive a car, maybe I insisted on trying to drive in a stressful situation, and that car is no longer with us.
What was the first car's name?
It was a cherry bomb. It was like a really nice, like a cool, not sports car, but like a classic car. It like had been abandoned because of the attack and stuff. I was like, this is the one, let's go. And yeah, it was that day.
Do you Do you think that Angie dived into a situation like to help, like didn't just jump behind the wheel, um, not being a very good driver for the hell of it, but was someone else hurt or knocked out
I think it was
or
more excitement than anything else. Just like finally I get a chance to drive something cool like this. Please, please, please let me do it.
okay. I can foresee a driving lessons downtime scene, right? Thanks, Mark. Other Mark, any ideas for Ree's moment?
Yeah, I was thinking about riffing on what we have so far. So, related to Angie's. So, Angie got to drive the new car. Is that correct? Or was it the old? It was the new car.
The old car that I crashed.
The old car that you crashed. Okay. Um, I think that Walker is really the only one who knows how to drive a car out of us. Um, but as as part of this, um, maybe we were trying to escape from a faction, and they had set up a roadblock of sorts with hmm something that's smashable. Um, but Ree had snuck and found Steve unattended. And we knew we had to get through the roadblock with Cherry Bomb. And she rammed the roadblock with Steve, making a path or opening for others. Yeah, exactly. Um, and that's how she gained the heroism. Steve kept going, but it was slightly damaged. Cherry Bomb followed through, and we continued down the roadway, but then Cherry Bomb crashed, and we all ended up in Steve. Boy, we thought we had it made.
Okay, awesome. And T, how about Mercedes?
Yeah. I think she was no, I think she was driving home from a conference in Boston. She can't drive, just not well. uh when it all went down. And I think she just sort of like got off the highway and tried to escape as best she could into the hinterlands. Um, and I think that she ended up at she ended up running into a family that was really struggling. Hmm. Yeah, let's say that one of the mothers was in labor, and she, for the first time ever, delivered a human baby. Much more challenging, a lot less room, and in gratitude, the family let her stay with them for a little bit, but that welcome kind of wore a little bit thin when she. I think that's the point where she sort of fell in with the rest of the characters. Um, yeah, so she's got to practice medicine on humans, which is not a thing that she had previously really done.
Hey, awesome. So I think we have a lot to go on here from our first session. I'm going to suggest we wrap up and then jump into our first travelogue next week. Also, there's going to be some chance to do some prep on possible detours and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think a great session. I'll stop the recording and we'll do a quick debrief, stars and wishes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.